Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Unscripted on 13 Plus. I'm Carson Courier. Anna Orsini has the day off. We do want to begin with a live look here, a story that we're following. You can see the Supreme Court is actually taking up a dispute this morning between Republican-led states and the Biden administration over how far the federal government can go to combat controversial social media posts on topics including COVID-19 and election security. The justices are hearing arguments in a lawsuit filed by Louisiana, Missouri, and other parties accusing officials in the Democratic administration of leaning on the social media platforms to unconstitutionally squelch conservative points of view. So lower courts have sided with the states, but the Supreme Court blocked those rulings while it considers the issue. So the case is over state laws, and one being argued today are variations on the same theme, complaints that the platforms are censoring conservative viewpoints. We'll be watching this for you. We'll update you as soon as we learn more. And taking another live look to the White House, you can see President Biden there speaking at an event about Women's History Month. We know that today, President Joe Biden is expected to sign an executive order to improve the advancement of women's health. The goal is to improve data collection and better opportunities for medical research for women. Women make up half the population, but it wasn't until the 1990s that the federal government required women to be included in medical research. A White House medical spokesperson says uneven research can cause side effects such as overmedication in women or other impacts from common medications where the clinical trials only included men. So again, you are taking a live look at President Biden speaking at the White House. We're going to go ahead and listen in here.
She's not here today, but you all thank Kristen Gillibrand for that fight in our new Lord Freedom. We also continue to stand with women and girls worldwide against rape and sexual violence as weapons of war and terror. And we've spoken on it. We're one of the few leaders in the world who've spoken against it because we're punishing countries that engage in it. But folks, as I said in my State of the Union address, there's no ordinary time in our history. Democracy is literally at stake here at home and abroad. Our basic freedoms are under assault. Freedom to vote, freedom to choose, and so much more. My predecessor and his allies in Congress make no apologies for it. But here's the deal. It's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court wrote, quote, "Women are not without electoral and or political power." No kidding. As they say in Claymont, Delaware, where I spent my childhood, they ain't seen nothing yet. No, I'm serious. Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade to support a national ban on abortion have no clue about the power of women. I mean it sincerely. But they're finding out. When reproductive freedom was on the ballot, the American people spoke in 2022 and 2024, and with the leadership of this woman to my left here, they're going to speak out again in 2024. When you send me a Democratic Congress that supports reproductive freedom, I promise you, we will restore Roe v. Wade again as a law.
And that is President Joe Biden speaking at the White House. We'll keep watching this for you. We'll update you with what comes out of that. Moving on, though, we know today a big deal for women who want to get over-the-counter birth control. We know consumers can start ordering the first over-the-counter birth control pill approved in the United States today. O-Pill will first be available through the company's website and Amazon, but are expected to quickly appear on store shelves at pharmacies such as Walgreens and CVS. A 1-month supply runs about $20. The drug maker says orders shipped to customers will be sent in plain boxes with no logos to ensure privacy. And something else that we are tracking today. Today is the last day that you can vote early for the presidential preference. We know voters in Pima County will be heading to the polls tomorrow to cast their ballots in the 2024 presidential preference election. This is an election where voters will decide who they would like to be their presidential candidate in the upcoming general election in November. We know President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are both at the top of their party's ballots. During this election, voters registered as Democrats or Republicans are the only ones in the state who are able to vote. So if you're not able to make it to the polls on election day, as I mentioned, voters registered either Republican or Democrat can cast their ballots today as part of an emergency voting. If you still have your mail-in ballot, your best option is to drop it off at a voting center that will be open for election day. So if you're wondering where that is, you are taking a look right now at our website where you can see we actually have a list of all the different places you can go to vote tomorrow, or if you want to vote early today. You can see the Recorder's main office, Fellowship Bible Church, so on and so on, and it actually tells you what dates they're open and what times they're open. So again, this is on our website, KOLD.com. You can just go to the list early voting sites of the 2024 presidential preference election. Click on this story and you will be good to go. But we want to take a live look outside on a Monday morning. You can see really a gorgeous picture there. A little cloudy, a little windy, but looking pretty good. We have 13 First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell here with us. And Mallory, kind of just going to be a nice day out there.
Yeah, really hard to complain. This weekend was nice, a bit chilly. We were in the 60s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to start to warm things up this week. So back into the 70s, even have some low 80s in that 7-day forecast.
Oh my goodness.
So there we go. Temperatures right now in the 50s across southern Arizona. We are tracking some high clouds through the area, but all in all, a pretty quiet morning. You can see your forecast highs for the week, 74 today. Some low 70s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then there's our warming trend. Thursday, Friday, upper 70s, low 80s. Those low 80s will take us into Saturday, and then we start to cool things back off again, it looks like, by Sunday. In terms of rain chances this week, slight chance of seeing a few isolated thunder showers today, this afternoon, but that's going to be primarily northeast of Tucson. Many of us will stay dry for another day, maybe just see some of those clouds bubble up during the heat of the day, and we are looking to stay drier, I should say, Tuesday through at least Saturday. Your next 7 days in terms of rainfall, you can see not much on here, so really just tracking today's chance for primarily, as I mentioned, those areas to the northeast of the Tucson metro. Your latest satellite and radar showing a few clouds primarily to the north of Tucson, a little bit of noise on the radar to the east, but all in all, a quiet morning. Your hour-by-hour forecast for today, partly sunny skies are on tap. You can see isolated thunder showers bubbling up around Mammoth, Wilcox, Safford, primarily east of the Phoenix metro area, so that is why we have included that isolated storm chance today. All of that lifts northward through this evening and into tonight. Mostly clear skies tonight. That should allow temperatures to dip back down to the 30s and 40s tomorrow morning. And today it could be breezy at times. So in Tucson, we're expecting wind gusts this morning and early afternoon, 20, maybe up to 25 miles per hour. Lighter winds move back in by this evening. Your First Alert 7-day forecast here. Tomorrow, the first day of spring officially, at least astronomically. 72 is the high for the equinox tomorrow. 73 on Wednesday, 78 on Thursday. There's your warm-up. Short-lived, but low 80s Friday and Saturday. And then our next weather system looks to move in starting on Sunday. That will bring us some cloud cover, gusty winds, cooler temperatures, and the chance for showers late Sunday and likely into the day on Monday of next week.
Oh my goodness, finally starting to see possibilities of low 80s
yes.
later this week.
Yes.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We had one day at the end of January and we had 2 days in February. So we've only had 3 days in the 80s so far this year, which is not a lot for southern Arizona. So we've been pretty spoiled with the 60s and 70s. But if you're wanting that pool weather, there you go. Friday and Saturday.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Mallory.
Of course.
And as those conditions continue to warm up, we know it is snake season here in southern Arizona. So our very own Jack Cooper, he actually interviewed individuals who know what to do to avoid these snakes, what to do if you're bitten by a snake, and how to protect your pets.
March is generally the time of the year where the weather gets warm enough and you're going to start to see more rattlesnakes out there. So let's take a look at some ways that you can be prepared if that's the case and you do see one of these big boys out on a path or a trail. Now, if you come across one, obviously take some steps back and avoid it. If you see one inside or outside your home and need it removed, call an animal control agency. Now is also the time to do snake avoidance training for your pets so they know what to do in case they come across one. And if you or someone you're with happens to get bit, immediately call 911. While you wait, you need to sit down and wash the bite with warm soapy water. Take off any rings or watches before the swelling actually starts. And if you're out for a walk, make sure that you can still hear and you're not just listening to music the entire time.
It's one of these things where you've got an animal that will warn you if you are getting too close and it feels threatened. And you negate that by putting on your big set of Beats or ear pods or whatever you've got. And you don't hear that warning, it could ruin your day.
Now keep in mind, rattlesnake bites are rarely fatal. In fact, there were about 160 people who were bit last year here in the state of Arizona, and none of them were deadly. Reporting on the Northwest Side, I'm Jack Hooper, 13 News.
And if you typically, let's see, here we go, as I pull this up here. So we have a couple questions for you. So are you caring for a family member and home and you can't work? Do you need additional income and increased stability? Are you interested in free training to run a boarding home business? And do you enjoy working with seniors? Or maybe you want help with affordable housing for seniors? If you answered yes to any of these questions, ARC is holding informational sessions on a free program that will allow Pima County homeowners to start their own boarding home business. So Anna Orsini sat down with Debbie Chandler, she's the executive director, about what all this program has to offer.
Well, we're trying to create affordable housing options for seniors because everybody knows there's a shortage of that, while generating income for homeowners who might have space to do so. How we're doing that? We did this in 2017 with a grant from Pima County, and it was a pilot, and it was very successful. We reached out to homeowners who are homebound, partially because they might be taking care of seniors in their own home, or they're just unable to work for some reason, but they have excess bedrooms in their home that are available to potentially rent. It particularly affects people who are home taking care of elders in their home. There's a great many number of people in Tucson experiencing that. So we teach them how, we put them through a 10-week course, how to actually do this, how to board people in your home, how to interview, how to find the right people, how to plan a business plan, how to create a business plan that enables them to do that. And they get to determine, what do they want to offer? Is it just a room? Is it a room with some meals? So we're guiding them through the process of starting a small home business at the boarding home that then creates income for them, replacing the income they've lost when they can't go to work.
So I think the number one thing that comes to mind for me is safety, obviously bringing strangers into your home. Is this something that you created a program for, not only because you saw the need to help people pay for their homes, but because you saw people that were being taken advantage of offering situations like this?
Yes and no. This was mostly to create job opportunities for the homeowners while at the same time offering safe places for seniors to go. We do have a vetting process. There's a couple sessions outside of the business planning sessions that we bring professionals in about how to determine the compatibility of who you might bring into your home. And we also vet out the safety. There are background checks involved. But it's mostly about the homeowner and the renter to figure out, are we compatible? And what kind of expectation does the senior have in this boarding? And what kind of expectation does the homeowner have? Again, what are they going to offer? Are they going to offer a meal a day, 2 meals a day? How are they going to share the home? There's a lot of collaboration that goes on in meetings, and we've got some tools that helps them interview their tenants, and it's a process that there's another organization in town who does home sharing, and they're coming in and doing the training piece for that. So there's some steps in place to help that.
Well, it sounds like a really cool program. You said you did it back in 2017. What were the results like when you did it then?
They were very successful. We had a great amount of interest that showed up for the informational sessions. We had, I think, about 10 people who actually signed up to go through the program. They went for the program, and the result was we opened 6 boarding homes. I'll call them boarding homes. They were people's homes where they offered boarding rooms. And they were so successful. Most of those are still in operation. One in particular has expanded and done another home. And they continue to foster this relationship. I might add that our agency has an elder services program, and we are always seeking affordable homes or affordable boarding for seniors. So we're often able to place our clients into these homes. We don't take responsibility. We just expose them that here's somebody you can call for a boarding home. So we help these people when they're done have access to participants or potential participants. So it's a win-win in all three directions.
Absolutely. It sounds like it. So how would somebody know if they were maybe a candidate for this program? What are some of the qualifications?
That's a great question. It starts with, do I have available bedrooms in my home that I'm willing to share? Number one. Number two, do I have the time to be at home and provide whatever it is I'm going to offer? What is my offer? What am I going to offer in terms of, here's how much I want in rent. What am I going to provide for that amount of rent? There are no requirements in terms of what you have to provide other than a room. That's up to the business, up to the homeowner that creates their business and what they want to offer. And it's all a part of that compatibility. If somebody is walking up and wanting to rent a room, but they can't be exposed to pets and the homeowner has a pet, that's not a good compatibility. So it's really a back and forth, I guess, conversation about, does this home work for me and does this tenant work for me? Again, it's up to the homeowner to decide, who they rent to and what am I going to provide or not provide. And by the way, we do have some legal legal advice being put forth to help the homeowners to create the correct kind of lease for this kind of arrangement. So everything is provided. There's $25,000 worth of training going into helping these homeowners get started in this business.
So if you are interested, you can take a look at your screen here. You can attend a free info session tomorrow night, the 19th, or next Tuesday, the 26th. To register, you can email info@arc-arizona.org or call 520-623-9383. And we know that it is spring break in Marana, which is some fun news for a bunch of kids and parents in the area. But there is something that you can attend if you're interested in getting some food, which I know is a huge benefit for a lot of students in the Marana School District. So right now we know the Marana Unified School District and officials, they want to make sure that kids have enough to eat. So starting today, the Marana Cares mobile food bus will be serving free meals to students. On your screen here, you can actually see, so they say it's starting today, it goes through Friday, and it's because of spring break 2024. That's why they're doing it, to make sure that even though these students don't have school, they still have the ability to get some good, nutritious food. So the bus will be out all week at 2 different spots during the day. The bus will be at the Picture Rocks Fire Department from 11 a.m. to noon, and every day this week from 12:30 to 1:30, the bus will be parked at the Marana Domestic Water Improvement District. That address, you can see it right here on your screen. You can see it there towards the right of your screen. It is 16560 West El Tyro Road. So again, this is just maranausd.org. If you want to head to that website, you can see all the information there. And some great news this morning for all of those Wildcat fans. We know the women's UA team made it into the tournament. After plenty of ups and downs, including losing players and a difficult non-conference schedule, the Wildcats will be part of March Madness. The Cats will be playing the Auburn Tigers in a first 4 game and a battle over the 11 seed, meaning Thursday, whoever wins will advance to the first round to face Syracuse. But regardless of how this plays out, it's the fact that Arizona even gets a shot that matters most to its head coach. We know the game again is on Thursday against the Auburn Tigers. Make sure to tune in to support your Wildcats. And no surprise at all, Arizona Wildcat men secured the second seed in the West region. They will be heading to Salt Lake City for their first game against Long Beach State on Thursday as well. The first game will be against LBSU at 11 a.m. on Thursday. If the Wildcats win, they will face either the Dayton Flyers or the Nevada Wolfpack in the next round. And one of the best things about March Madness, in my opinion, is filling out those brackets. So taking a look here, actually one restaurant, TGI Fridays, is giving away free wings for busted brackets. So if you're like, oh my goodness, my bracket is all messed up, I'm losing, all my teams that I thought were going to win aren't doing as well as I thought, hey, go to TGI Fridays. I know we have 2 local locations here. They're actually giving out, like I mentioned, free wings for all of those busted brackets. All you have to do is bring your bracket and you can just show them. And they're also giving 50-cent wings anytime during March Madness if there's a game on. So go ahead and go to TGI Fridays. All you got to do is bring your bracket. You can even show them on your screen if you have a digital one. And speaking of food, take a look at this. Oh, this looks so good. So Bluebell has released a new ice cream flavor ahead of Easter, and it is gooey butter cake. I'm from the Midwest, so gooey butter cake, I've grown up on it. It is so good. If you have not tried it, you need to. So this actually, they came out with it ahead of Easter, and they're also, the reason they came out with the flavor is because they're opening a new location in St. Louis, and it's kind of a ode to St. Louis, if you say. The gooey butter cake actually started there. So a fun fact for you, but if you're interested in trying out this flavor, it is a cake batter ice cream with a cream cheese swirl and gooey butter cake pieces. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. So the new flavor is available in half-gallon and pint sizes for a limited time at several grocery stores. And again, it is celebrating Bluebell's expansion to the St. Louis area. So if you try this, let us know. Comment down below, take a picture with it. Let us know if you would even try it. I think it sounds really good. So you could even get some ice cream, watch March Madness. I know it's that time of year. We are all super excited for that basketball to start. And we want to end with a live look out at the Tucson mountains. Take a look at those clouds. It actually looks really gloomy out there. Mallory was saying you can expect a high this afternoon around 74 with a possible chance for a shower later in the evening and partly cloudy conditions. But besides that, looking to warm up slightly as we get closer to the weekend. Friday, expecting a high at around 81, and that'll be our first 80-degree day if we hit 81 in March. So we've stayed pretty cool. Again, looking pretty good out there though. So go ahead, take a walk, go outside, enjoy it. And tomorrow is the first day of spring. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Unscripted on 13 Plus. Have a great day and happy Monday.